silent listener directly. Okay. Then we discussed about epithalamium and idyll. Here, idyll is nothing but a small picture, like small short poem. Here we have the examples of William Blake, the Shepherd, and we also discussed about Limerick, and we discussed about lyric. So these all are the kinds of poetry, and terms, narrative poem, ode, and in ode we have Pindaric ode and Erotian ode. Yeah. So there are few examples for you about the term called old ode poems. Good examples for ode poems are William Wordsworth's and Alan Tate. And you have another term called regular ode. All right. And then there are types of sonnet. Italian sonnets. Sonnet always remember. Sonnet is always represents with the metric terms. Like it has a certain rules and regulations how you write a poem, and they the rhythmic sense. It all depends upon the rhythmic sense. He and uses generally like ABBA and ABBA. Um, or CDC. Then there is another metric term like CDE. You'll get to know what all these in the next class. Um, Gradually while you're learning your topics. And Italian sonnets are mostly in a rhythmic format like CDD, or DCD. So these are the examples for Italian sonnet written by John Milton, and the poem is When I Consider How My Light is Spent. Um, and then there is another poem called Romeo and Juliet. We all know about that, and it's written by William Shakespeare, and this also comes under sonnet, but it is not an Italian sonnet. That's an English sonnet. So you have to remember sonnets are of three types mainly: Italian sonnet, English sonnet, and Spenserian sonnet. So, Italian sonnet, we can take an example of William Shakespeare. Sorry, English sonnet, we can take an example of William Shakespeare, and Italian sonnet, we can go with John Milton. And Spenserian sonnet, you can take the example of Edmund Spenser. And not to forget, there is also another sonnet called Modern Sonnet. Here you have a beautiful example of Maya Angelou about the Harlem hopscotch. So, you this is an important kind of a poetry, the sonnet. But in this sonnet, there are again different kind. That is modern sonnet. Modern is the last one, and first is Italian sonnet, and then an English sonnet, and then there is Spenserian sonnet. So Italian sonnet is in the rhythmic form of ABBA, then CDC, and then CDE. So Italian sonnet mostly depends upon these six lines broken into sets. And another example for the Italian sonnet, the six lines, how they're broken into trisets are CDD, CDE, or CDC, DCD. In English sonnets have four lines each, and a couplet of 2 lines accordingly. There is a difference in the rhyme scheme too. The English sonnet follows the rhyme scheme of AB AB. There in Italian it is ABBA. But here it is AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, GG. Following is an example. Let's understand how these terms make a English sonnet. So, what English sonnet is saying, English sonnet is sometimes also known as Elizabethan sonnet. So, whenever you are attempting for set or net, you'll get such kind of questions like, what is Elizabeth sonnet also called as? So, there's no confusion here. English sonnet is also called as Elizabethan sonnet, and Elizabethan sonnet is also called as English sonnet. So, you just remember that. Then it became popular in English language during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. That is in the mid late of 15th, 1500s. William Shakespeare was not the first to write sonnets in English, but he became perhaps the most famous sonneteer. Okay, you can remember this term sonneteer. So someone who writes a good sonnet is called as someone who writes sonnet can be called as sonneteer, and therefore the English form is also sometimes called Shakespearean. How we are saying Elizabethan, and it is Shakespearean. So it has many names. The main difference between the Italian and the English sonnet is the way in which the stanzas are divided. Yeah, every rhythmic pattern, the rhythmic scheme tells us which sonnet does it belongs to. So, the main difference between the English form is sometimes called the Italian and the English sonnet is a way in which the stanzas are divided. While the Italian sonnet is divided into octave, 8 lines broken into two quatrains and sestet. 6 lines broken into two tercets, sestets, two tercets. It's kind of difficult terms to remember, but you have to. The English sonnet comprises 3 quatrains, 4 lines each, and a couplet, 2 lines. Accordingly, there is a difference in the rhyme scheme too. The English sonnet follows the rhyme scheme of ABAB, CDCD, EF, GG. Following is an example of English sonnet. So let's understand how it is ABAB. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudgy break to new mutiny. So there you can see ABAB pattern. So dignity, mutiny, our scene, unclean. So the rhythmic pattern, mm, the sense we are getting in the rhythmic pattern, this is what is called English sonnet, A, B, A, B. So when you compare it with an Italian sonnet, when it is saying A, B, B, A, that means the first line, the first quatrain said, the first line and the fourth line is same, I mean, in the rhythmic pattern, and the in between 2 lines are same when it comes to the rhythmic pattern. Let us understand how it is. When I consider how my light is spent, half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodge with me useless, though my soul more bent. You got the rhythmic pattern here, right? It is A B B A. Italian sonnet pattern is A B B A. Then it says CDC, CDC, and CDE, CD. Or it can also be like CDD, CDE. or CDC DCD. But what is famous amongst the all sonnets? That is William Shakespeare's sonnet. That's why he is also called a Shakespearean. And William Shakespeare sonnets are the famous ones. So he all are calling him as an sonneteer. So let us understand how this Spenserian sonnet looks like. The English poet Edmund Spenser, who lived and wrote during the Elizabethan age, used a slightly different rhythm scheme in his sonnets. AB AB. Okay. So again, it looks like same, but when you go to Italian sonnet, it is like ABBA. When it is Shakespearean, William Shakespeare sonnet, it is in the scheme of ABAB. Spenserian sonnet is in the scheme of ABAB. Same like English sonnet. But the other lines are like BCBC, CDCDEE. And this is also one of the famous mm, sonnet during the Elizabethan age. This provides a tighter connection between the different stanzas. Amority by Edmund Spenser. So let's understand the poem, in which pattern it's like. One day I wrote her name upon the strand, but came the waves and washed it away. Again I write it with the second hand, strand in hand. But came the tide and made my pains his prey. Vain man, said she, that doesn't in vain essay. A mortal thing so to immortalize, for I myself shall like to this decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. Not so could I let baser things devise to tie in dust, but you shall live by fame. My verse, my virtues, race shall eternize, and in the heavens write your glorious name, where when as death shall all the world subdue. Subdue. Our love shall live in latter life renew. So this is a beautiful example of Edmund Spenser of Spenserian sonnet. So let us understand the modern sonnet which we are into. So contemporary poets have continued to expand on the sonnet form, choosing to write in the trochees, tetrameter, in blank verse, and with the different rhyme schemes. So modern poet has changed its originality, and then they are trying to explore and try to bring on to the new things into the sonnet form. So what has the modern poet done to the sonnet is that it is writing, modern sonnet is writing mostly on trochees, tetrameter, in blank verse, and with the different rhythm schemes. Let us look into the rhythm schemes of modern poet sonnet, that is AABB, CCDD, EEFF, GG. It looks like kind of an um easy way of memorizing. I feel like modern sonnet is very easy for children or for us to remember and to read. So let us understand the outcome of the modern sonnet. So 1 foot down, then hop. It's hard. Good thing for the ones that's got. Another jump, now to the left, everybody for himself. In the air, Now both feet down. Since you're black, don't stick around. Food is gone, the rent is due. Curse and cry, and then jump too. All the people out of work, hold for three, then twist and jerk. Cross the line, they count you out. That's what hopping's all about. Both feet flat. The game is done. They think I lost. I think I won. What they think? They think I lost, but I think I won. Right? So, where is GG form here? Done and one comes under GG. So, AABB. Let's look into the rhythmic form of schemes like AABB. It's hot got. That is AA. And let's see BB. It's left shelf. And then CC down around. DD is due to walk, jerk, out, about, done, one. So this is a beautiful example for modern sonnet, and who is giving that example for us? That is Maya Angelou. All right. So now let's check our progress. What are the two main types of sonnets? Italian and English. What is the main difference between English and Italian sonnets? You know that. Which original feature of the sonnet has remained unchanged? So, to sum up this small topic which we discussed right here, the literary forms are frames which determine the meaning of words. In the same way, the same words may carry different meanings when written in different frames. A frame, if I take you to the um, beautiful example for that, frame is nothing but a lens. So, for example, a person may have a longer eyesight or a shorter eyesight or headache or migraine. So, there are certain mm, different reasons why a person wears a spectacles, or for sun, or for he has an eye infection. So there are different. For example, if you are um, putting in blue eyeglasses, you tend to see everything, whatever you're seeing with your naked eyes, you tend to see in the blue shade. In the same way, when you put this poetry frames to your eyeglasses, that means you will understand. You will understand which this poem will fit into, whether it is a ballad or whether is it a folklore or whether it is a burlesque or whether it's a sonnet or whether it's a elegy or it is an ode for someone. So, um, literary forms helps us to understand the framework of which this poem will fit into. So, therefore, it is important to understand the form in which the meaning is framed. Correct? Poetry is perhaps the oldest form, as we discussed. Poetry uses words for their meaning as well as sound. So, the poem should make a good meaning, what the author wanted to say, and it should also make a good sound and rhythm and beat. Since poetry uses language, music, that is rhyme and rhythm, it is easy to remember poems. It was for this reason that poetry has been used in the past to store and transfer knowledge from one generation to the next. Poetry condenses meaning and expresses feelings and emotions using few words. Poetry also arranges words and sentences differently and therefore has a distinct appearance on a printed page. Exactly. There are different kinds of poetry in English, and this unit has explained the features of 13 of them with examples. And I'll show you all the 13 what that is. Acrostic poem, and then there is ballad, and then there is once again, sorry, sorry. Then there is ballad, then there is burlesque, then there is concrete poem, dramatic monologue, elegy, epithalamium, idyll, limerick, lyric, narrative poem, ode, and sonnet. Right? Then there is a next topic for us to discuss, that is literally forms of drama. Okay. And now let's understand first, before getting into the drama, let us understand what is drama and what types of drama we have, and what are the elements and like devices of drama. Okay. Drama, we discussed about the poetry is there when the human race existed, and what why did poetry has developed in such a way, because back then, and that's an easiest way to understand and uh, get knowledge from generation. They wanted to pass the information, so for generations to generations. So this type of uh, poetic form has evolved, and gradually there were different kinds of poetry which came into existence, and we all discussed about it. In the same way, what happened with drama? So drama, uh, and I'll stop you there, because a narrator has used a beautiful explanation to tell us what is poetry. Ha, putting the best words in the best order. This is what the poetry means. And now, what is drama means? Drama is nothing but is an imitation of life. It's a play. Whatever is happening in the life, we are just showing to the audience or the viewers. So it's just kind of imitating whatever is happening in the life. It is a representation of people in action. Drama is a form of literature, yes, in which stories are told through a imitation of a human behavior. Human is acting and showing, right? Stories are told how the verbal form? No, it's an imitation. Humans are imitating the behavior of someone's life. The stories in which drama are composed in verse or prose, usually for theatrical performance. Emotions and conflicts in drama are expressed through dialogue and action. Drama is sometimes read, but basically it is composed to be performed. So, the ultimate aim of composing a play is for it to be presented on the stage before an audience. Although there are different kinds of drama, there are some elements that are common to all. For instance, drama can never be private experience, as a poem or a novel can be. By its very nature, drama is meant for performance and the involvement of the audience in the action. For the drama relies on dialogue and action to reveal the true nature of a human behavior. Another key element of drama is Style. What style is the drama played into? Each play creates a mood and conveys meaning by following certain conventions of drama, and the audience understanding the meaning also because of their familiarity with the conventions of the genre. There are four main types of drama: tragedy, comedy, melodrama, and tragic comedy. What are the four main types of drama? Tragedy, comedy, melodrama, and tragicum. Understanding the characteristics of these types is essential for us for the basic understanding of drama as a literature form. So, drama is quite different from the poetry, right? So, what are the elements that we have to look into basically in the drama? Theme and subject. Theme is the abstract idea, and subject is a concrete object. Theme is an abstract idea, and subject is a concrete object. Element through the theme is conveyed. For instance, if evaluating ambition is a central theme of Shakespeare's Macbeth, then the theme is conveyed through the tragic story of Macbeth. How many of you know the story of Macbeth? If you don't know, it is mm, mm, difficult to understand. So, okay, let us take the movie Maharshi of Mahesh Babu. So the theme here is Maharshi. And what is the meaning of Maharshi? Maharshi is a person uh, who sacrifices his life and do something extraordinary for the human society. So did he do something like that in the movie? Yes, he did. And the story was uh, molded into different emotions. There was tragic, there was comedy, there was seriousness. So author tries to get his theme uh, portrayed very well with certain characters, taken by certain characters in a tragic mode or a comedy mode or a melodrama mode. But here the theme plays a major role. Just like that, in Macbeth, also, author tries to get the evaluating ambition theme from the story called Macbeth. So, the first and foremost elements of the drama are theme and subject. And the second one is story and plot. A story is a series of events recording according to the sequence in which they occur. The king died and then the queen died is a story. Sorry. A plot, on the other hand, is a deliberate arrangement of events in way by which the cause effect relation between the events is established. The king died and the queen died of grief is a plot. Are you getting it? There is a difference between story and the plot. Story, it is like step by step thing what is happening in the play. First the story, this king has died, then after that queen has died, then after that his their sons have became left out at and there were no one to take care of them. It is like that. So we'll anything we'll tell about if if you want to tell a story in a short way, we'll just give them main storylines. So stories like that. But when it is a plot, how the uh, king died, what all the causes for king to be dead on that day, and then what happened after the king. So the queen died because of what? Because of the grief. So the establishing the other scenes to work out is called as plot. Now there is a second term called setting and dramatic structure, characters, dialogues, spectacle. So you know what is setting, time and place. Back then, now in the movies it is all AI things. There's so much of development in the technology. So we cannot take examples of the movie. So when it is a theater play, there is a lot of work going into it. So if the author wants to show it is as a morning scene, they have to work out with the background thing and the props and the elements and so much of this. So this has a major part back in those days. So setting is also one of the thing, and the dramatic structure is also one of the thing. Like for example, turning point, falling action, climax, conflict, all these things. Characters are also, what are the characters who are involved in the story or the characters? I mean, the protagonist, antagonist, the comedian, the villain, and sorry, and the antagonist is itself the villain, the supporting actors, everybody comes under the what whoever is playing a big role or a minute role, what whoever it is, comes under the characters of the play. And dialogues, then let's talk about spectacle. Spectacle is the visual aspect of drama, and everything that is seen or heard on the stage, actors, sets, costume, lights, sound, contributes to the visual impact of the play. All plays have spectacle. Some emphasizes spectacle more than others. And again, that goes to the director. That credit goes to the director. If the spectacle is like somewhat mm, uh, good, better than the other sometimes. So there are different types of dramas. We know that is comedy, tragedy, melodrama, and what is the other one? Can anyone tell me what is the other kind of drama? That is tragic comedy. Combination of the both. First one is tragedy, second one is comedy, and there is other element called mixed of both, that is tragic comedy, and there is melodrama. These are the four types that we are learning about the types of drama. So first and foremost topic we have is comedy, and in comedy there are again subgenres like classic attire, and then we have comedy of manners. Right. So classic attire, romantic comedy, comedy of humor, comedy of manners, sentimental comedy, and there is a term called phrase and black comedy. It looks like we have all come across these words some or the other, but phrase and black comedy is something I feel for you it is new. So because it's a new topic, let's first discuss about the topic called phrase. All right. Mhm. A comic dramatic piece that uses highly improbable situations, stereotyped characters, extravagant, exaggeration, and violent horseplay. The term also refers to the class or form of drama made up of such compositions. Fairs is generally regarded as intellectually and aesthetically inferior to comedy in its crude characterizations and impossible plots, but it has been sustained by its popularity in performance and has persisted throughout the Western world to the present. All right, I'll stop you here because we time is up. Let's discuss all of the topics in the rest of the classes. I hope you understood the class, understood the terms, terminologies of poetry, and now what all the uh, frames we have into uh, drama. We'll discuss classic attire, romantic comedy, comedy of humors, comedy of manners, sentimental comedy in the next class. Let's wind up the class. Take care and bye. Sorry, I have to take this screen. You're right.